For the fans, by the fans. Welcome to the only Angels postgame show that keeps it real, win or lose. No filters, no fluff, just raw reactions right after the final out. The golden Stamos is polished up and somebody's about to take it home. A clutch hit, a game-saving grab, or just straight up hustle. We see you. But if you played like trash, you're getting the dreaded Nacho Night award. We saw the missed calls, we saw the blown saves, the clutch moments, and the disasters too. Your comments are front and center, and yeah, we read all of them. Wanna let loose? Call in and sound off live. No scripts, no suits, no spin. This is raw, this is real, this is where the fans take over. This is the HITI postgame show with Todd Fox. For the fans, by the fans.
I'm a fox. My name's Todd.
Hey, welcome in everybody who's on at this late night hour as the Angels win on a Tuesday, make it 2 for Tuesday on the HITI postgame show. I'm your host, Todd Fox. I had a prior engagement, a little dressed up here tonight, but it is all good. I'm here for you, the fans, because it's by the fans, for the fans, for the fans, by the fans. Hey, everybody, we're here. We're the ones in the stands watching the games with you, talking trash, loving baseball. And it is what it is on this Tuesday night as the Angels win and make it 2 in a row in Fenway. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get the day game tomorrow and we get the W and get out of there 4-2 on a road trip that started bad in Cleveland. Hopefully we can come home here and do some more damage finally at home as we're 10-15 at home. But with that being said, this was an unlikely win for the Angels today in Boston earlier because not only did they do a couple things different, which was, again, the night before give Anderson all kinds of run support, which we're always complaining he never gets, but he couldn't get past the 5th inning, so he wasn't able to reap the reward of those runs that were scored. And he took a no decision. Then you get Kikuchi, who finally gets his first win. And you're thinking, man, he's going to get some run support. It looks like the Angels got some guys on almost every inning. It looks like he's going to walk away with his second victory. Not so much. And this game had a little bit of defense. It had some errors. It had some stupid plays, which we'll get into. And it had some, like, really bad decision-making by the Angels hitters. Surprise, that kept Boston in this game and took themselves out of most of those rallies that we saw late in the game that could have put the game away. So with that being said, and they won in extra innings, which is something damn near they would never do last season and the season before. And whenever Ron Manfred decided to go to this, ghost runner at second base, the Angels have never taken advantage. And I felt that they didn't take advantage tonight. And we'll talk about that in the 10th inning. What could have been a, knockout punch to Boston was just, hey, let's just get a run. And you never want to do that because when you're the home team in that extra inning situation, whatever the road team did prior, you kind of want to, you could play for the tie if they score one run. At worst, you're going back into another inning of extras and you could try to do damage again. But then, it's a situation where, again, if you're the road team, you want to score as many runs as possible to put all the pressure on the home team. But before we get to that, we got to do the summary. The Angels win 4-3 over those Boston Red Sox chowderheads. 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. 3 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors. And Boston has quite the issue when it comes to errors. And before we do, we got to play this because the Angels won, baby. I love Nolan Void's, comments over there on TikTok. I would, you have every right to stay away from the stadium, especially with the news today. I don't know if you've heard or not, because I hate Moreno too. Don't get me wrong. And Jesse, yes, early game. the news today is $49. Yes, $49 can get you tickets for an entire month. And that should tell you something right there about Moreno. He doesn't care about, the ticket prices don't equate to him making money. What makes him money? So for $49, you can go to pretty much any game the rest of the season per month, except the Dodgers series. And so what that means is, again, ticket prices don't mean anything. It's all about concessions, merchandise, and also parking. That's what makes Moreno money. Ticket sales are irrelevant. So again, he's just trying to get butts in the seats because he saw what 90,000 Savannah Banana fans who actually want to be there and will buy just about anything in the merchandise store along with food and everything else can bring him. And yes, he reaped all those benefits. So with that being said, back to the game. Angels win 4-3. The win goes to Kelly Jansen in relief. Kelly takes the loss. Reid Detmers becomes only the third Angels starting pitcher to have thrown a no-hitter and collected a save in his career. The other two, Nolan Ryan and Mike Witt. The Angels scoring plays tonight. You had Neto singling to center. He seems to always get the run scoring somehow. He got a single to score Adell. Taylor Ward went to second base, and that was after the Angels threw out a runner at home. Shonowell would single to center or to left. Taylor would score. It was 2-0, and then Neto came around because it trickled into the outfield off the shortstop. That made it 3-0. But then that pesky Duran, he's been playing Pepper with the Green Monster, hitting the opposite field and doing that little stupid little thing towards us. I can't stand that guy. And I don't even really pay attention to Boston players. I don't really give a shit about that team. But to see him do this over and over, and I get it, it's a form of, listen, I'm kind of the guy that's like, hey, get off my lawn. But at the same time, I love showy displays. So it's not like I'm one of these guys that say, hey, keep it honest. That's the unwritten rule. Don't show up the opponent. No, I'm all for the celebrations. I'm all for the showy displays, the home run trots. I'm all for that. Hell, if you want to do a backflip touching home base, I'm all for it. No problems. It's just I get bitter old man when it's to my team. It's like, you know what? F yourself. I can't stand when they do it against us. If he's doing it against the Dodgers, I'm like, hell yeah, keep beating, baby. He does it against us. Fuck you. But anyway, Duran would double again off the freaking wall. That made it 3-1. And then again, you had Kikuchi. He was, again, just like Anderson, flirting around the strike zone, not really getting the strikes because the umpires weren't giving him the extreme corners. But he was putting it close enough to where it could be a strike, but you can't always depend on the umpire. And yes, he was missing on a lot of his pitches. He was full counts to a lot of these guys. And he barely pitched out of that jam in the third inning, only to get into a jam in the sixth inning where he gave up a 2-run shot that was clear over the wall. That made it 3-3. And you're thinking, crap, the Angels haven't done nothing. It looks like they're not going to score. They had a second and third with one out. Taylor Ward sucks. Soler sucked. They blew another opportunity. Here's my thing. Ron Washington, what are you doing, my friend? Like, again, you continue to funk with the lineups. Continue to funk with them. And he keeps moving guys up and down out of the lineup, back into the lineup. It doesn't make any sense. You have one of the hottest hitters coming off the IL. He's been itching to do things right. His bat is so squared up on the ball. It's ridiculous, right? What do? He's hitting great at fifth. Now let's mess that up. Let's mess up any kind of cohesiveness we got. Move him to third. Put Taylor Ward back to a spot that he sucks in. So now you're not getting Soler better pitches to hit or Taylor Ward better pitches to hit because you got Mike Trout in the 5-hole. Now you move him up to the 3-hole, and it's like, oh, let's pitch around Mike Trout. And now we got go to Taylor Ward on these sliders because what does Taylor Ward like to do? Swing early on sliders, and he goes down and just flails his bat, rolls into a double play or a ground ball. And that is sickening because it's like, dude, you're wasting outs. And Soler should be in a 4th spot. A lot of people disagree with that. but he is more of a patient hitter at times. I know he's aggressive too, so you get a balance of both, but I think he's better in front of Trout, not behind him. And then, of course, since Kikuchi's pitching, Hendricks pitching, no Hoppy. So you really haven't seen a full strength lineup. You really haven't, because they keep doing these analytic crap. They keep saying, well, this guy's got to go with this guy. This guy's got to go with that guy. So you don't really get the full extent of what the Angels can give you. That's kind of frustrating. So beyond that, you got to the 10th inning, and this drove me nuts. You had the bases loaded. Chance to break this game open and actually do damage and not have to wait on pins and needles and expect the unexpected to happen with your bullpen. It's really hard to get 3 outs with already a ghost runner at second, nobody out, right? So that's tough in itself. So as a road team, you want to score at least more than 1 run. At least more than 1 run. If you don't score any, I think you're screwed. But if you score at least 1, yeah, I mean, they could tie it up, but you're playing for a tie again. So obviously you want to go for the jugular. So you get the bases loaded, 2-1 count. He's ahead of the count. And what have they been throwing Ward all night? And again, game of adjustments. That's what this game is called. And what do the Angels do the least? Adjust. And again, he should have adjusted and known that they were going to throw him another slider. It was down in the box. And what does he do? He rolls over it, hits into a weak double play. But the run did score, but you're like, oh, crap. And then you're thinking, okay, Soler, maybe he can come through, because both of them suck tonight, straight up. Soler comes up and first pitch swinging, pops out. And that was the end of the inning. I'm thinking, crap, dude, Jansen has to pitch Hall of Fame like in that 9th inning. I mean, or in the 10th inning, sorry. He's got to come out there and he's got to work some magic. And lo and behold, guess what? He worked some magic and they got out of it and they got an unexpected win. Because, again, I wasn't feeling great about that 1-run lead. I mean, I wasn't feeling good about it going into the 9th inning. But you have to look at what the bullpen did and what the offense did first off. You had Neto go 2 for 5, an RBI, 1 strikeout. You had Shonawell had the 2 RBI hit and a walk, so another productive night for him. Mike Trout went 1 for 4 and a walk, productive night for him. Taylor Ward was a donkey, 0 for 5. Also, Soler, a donkey, 0 for 5. 0 for 10 combined, 3 strikeouts between the two. I thought there'd be more. Travis d'Arnaud had the slowest doubles you'll ever see. He had 2 doubles and a single. So it's good that he got some hits, but man, he has no wheels. Renifo 0 for 4 and a strikeout again. He hit the ball hard a couple times, but right at people. Newman sucks. Jo Adell 1 for 3. Chris Taylor actually worked a walk, and it was an important one. He's still batting 163. 2 for 8 with runners in scoring position. Trout 0 for 1. Soler 0 for 2. Ward 0 for 3. And you know what? I usually never lead off with the Nacho Night first, but no, I'm going to lead off with Nacho Night first.
Nacho Night, oh yeah, Nacho Night. Pile it up, load it high. Extra shame, hold the pride. Grab a fork, take a dive. Diggity's gone, but the cheese survives. It's the Nacho Night Award.
The Nacho Night Award, I'm going to give it to Taylor Ward, because Taylor Ward with runners in scoring position 0 for 3, double play in the 10th inning like an idiot. And again, I'm a lot of these people were all over this guy like, oh man, he's up to 16 home runs, blah, blah, blah. I've seen this song and dance before. I've seen him get hot like this before, but can he maintain it? No. Once they start doing the sliders, once they start mixing the pitches up and he's not getting those fastballs and that half-ass swing, the one-handed release, then he starts doing what Taylor Ward's good at, which is popping up to right field, striking out looking, rolling over on a ground ball weakly to the left side. That's Taylor Ward. And another thing that blows my mind, and I told a story about it when I played in the minors, and it's just so annoying. The center fielder is the quarterback. He controls everything. If he calls you off, you stop dead in your goddamn tracks. And that moron flirted with Adell 3 times in the outfield, including stealing the ball from him once. Yesterday, he could have made a catch on a line drive off the green monster, stopped, did not extend himself, played it off the bounce, conceded to the hit. I mean, he did it again tonight. I mean, he's a terrible outfielder. Like again, his numbers look fine, but his batting average sucks, and he doesn't often walk. I think he's a liability in the outfield. Look, if San Diego, all those rumors are true, you can have him. Take him, goddammit. We'll take a prospect or two from San Diego. That's fine. You can have him. At this point, I'm done with Taylor Ward. I've been done with Taylor Ward. I can't stand his lackadaisical running either. If you're going to roll over into a slow-ass double play, why aren't you running full blast to first base? Look at the replay of that ground ball double play in the 10th inning. Homeboy is not even jogging to first base. I have a lot of issues with Taylor Ward. I've never liked that guy. I never liked that guy. He's been a project and just a guy that's never gotten his feet off the ground. And he could show at times, like, okay, throw his defense out the window. He'll never be good at defense. But he just shows that sometimes when he's locked in, he can be a phenomenal player. And he could carry this team like he did on the road trip before this one. But then he just reverts back into Taylor Ward, and you're like, did you not learn your lesson? Did you not learn how to play? Did you not understand, hey, you flipped the switch, you got it now? Stick with it. No, back to good old Taylor Ward. He represents this team fantastically, and that's the problem. Now here's the Golden Stamos Award for tonight. The Golden Stamos by John Stamos for perfection, because he's a perfect man, according to our boy Roger Lodge. I'm going to give it to, and I usually give it to only one player, but I'm going to give it as a collective thank you award to the bullpen, because Kikuchi gave you one of those starts where it's like, okay, man, you could have did a lot better. He had 5 walks, 8 hits allowed, only 3 runs. He pitched himself out of a jam. I get it. Tops, a gritty start for him. Okay. Still has an ERA of 3.23, but let's look at the bullpen, shall we? 6 innings of no runs. That's phenomenal. For a bullpen that's supposed to suck, this team has been sporting a ERA under 2 on the road. You had a nice inning by Burke, Brogdon, Neris, Jansen, and the save went to Detmers, 2 strikeouts. Phenomenal job. I love what they did tonight. The bullpen gets the John Stamos Award for best performance tonight. I really like the bullpen. Very, very underrated bullpen. I love that. Let's see. John Stamos went to my high school. How do we feel about Lugo and Paris? I really wish Lugo was still hitting like he did. Same as Paris. Love the guy. Kraft, the story says, imagine being Barron Trump in college. Okay. Understand. He says, offering him Taco Bell. Okay, that has nothing to do with baseball, but I read it anyway. Okay, so with that being said, Angels won. We played the Stukas. We got the W tonight, going for 3 tomorrow. The pitching matchup for tomorrow is as follows. If I can get to it real quick. We have Jose Soriano, one of the best starters on our roster on the road. He's 4-5 with a 3.41 ERA, 70 hits in 68 innings pitched. He's got to keep that ball down. I don't like the fact that he has 34 walks. He cannot walk guys and get away with it. We've gotten away with it 2 nights in a row. Don't make it 3. And Louis Giolito, the guy we traded a couple guys to Chicago. Cuero was the big catcher in that one that we let go. We should have kept him. We would have had him as a 3rd option right now. He's sporting a 4.78 ERA as Giolito, 36 hits in 32 innings pitched, 10 walks, 26 strikeouts. He's given up 5 home runs. So that's going to be a tough matchup. Well, actually, it could be and it could not be. So we'll see what happens. I do like our chances tomorrow, though, as far as that's concerned. So with that being said, we got most of it out of the way tonight as the Angels win. Jose Soriano has the best stuff right there. I like that right there. Also, I would have preferred DFAing Newman over Anderson, says Diego. I agree. Thank you, Sassy Classy, right there. So got the TikTok ones out of the way for right now. And we get to our first comments of the night over here on the StreamYard / it's we're over here on Halos in the Infield, YouTube, and also X. And we got Rally Chris saying back-to-back close wins plus a series win over the Red Sox. It's fucking spritz the clock, baby. And he nailed it.
Spritz the clock, Angels play. Win or lose, we toast today. Sip and cheer, no matter score. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more. Spritz the clock, let's pour some more.
EQ says, let's fucking go. Also, the question is, can we sweep them? I think it's very doable. Joshua says, we're so back. Dan Reels checks in with me, love you long time. John Stamos.
There's a lot of baseball left to be played. And the season starts tonight, which makes me so horny. And me love you long time.
Dan says, Stukas, baby. Absolutely. Balls in Grillmaster's mouth, as he loves to let you know what he loves to have in his
Time
mouth.
for you to check out what I want. I want balls and
John Stamos.
Joshua says, oh no, what happened for the Sox fans? Oh, you mean this clip right here?
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Also, Keeve says, I swear we are a playoff team on the road, but we can't hit for shit at home. Yeah, it's true. We need to hire some bananas. J Ram says, I was sweating bullets when I saw Newman move to third base and Detmers pitch. Thankfully, it worked out. It was a weird little combination right there, but they did it. Gerard says, Halos beat the Chowda Heads 2 days in a row. How do you like them apples? I love it so far. Anytime we beat the Red Sox, it's a good thing. Grillmaster says Angels 3-0 in extras for the first time since two series wins in St. Louis. Q Lombardi. Yeah, Lombardi getting his first taste tonight.
What the hell's going on out here?
Exactly. Also, Gerard says the Chris Taylor play at second was so clutch. It was. Rally Chris says Seattle lost to Baltimore 5-1 at home, so we gained ground, but Houston is back in first place. Useless Trucker says the Angels dance in chaos, quite absurd. 2 for Tuesday, they say, flying unheard. Their wins make no sense, a wild, crazy spin, but maybe tomorrow they'll somehow win again. And we'll see how that goes. Chris also checks in with Ward and Soler. Yikes. Exactly. Gerard also says, let's push Giolito's shit in tomorrow for the sweep. Who am I effing kidding? Lucas tossing a complete game shutout. Also, get Detmers back in the rotation, Luke says. Well, we'll see, man. Again, first guy to fall out. I assume he would take his spot. Also, you got Go Halos over there on TikTok by Stephanie, and then you got worried about them coming home. They're not that good at home, and I don't know why, but I'm glad they won the series. They desperately need to sweep tomorrow. They do, Don. They really do. And then we got an important series with Seattle right back here at the Big A. Rally Chris says, since I'll be working tomorrow during the Angels game, going to wear my custom Disney Rally Chris jersey. Also, Useless Trucker says the Angels beat the Chowder Heads with flair, while Moreno laughs unconcerned and rare. He cares not for tickets or the crowd's cheer, just wants his banana fans to reappear. Also, Saucy says, not going to lie, they thought they were toast. I did too. He also says, if they sweep, my honk might begin to tingle once again. Everybody's rhyming tonight. Oso says, I'm currently deployed in Japan, and this show keeps me hella entertained. I love you, Oso, man. Be careful over there in Japan and enjoy it, because I do hear it's nice over there, but if you're deployed, you got to be careful and have a good time over there as well. Keep that balance, my friend. Rally Chris says Duran probably wants his yummy tasting nut from Gavin. On that, speaking of which, Gavin has a message for all of us. So get a nap in while you can.
On everybody, my name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. How about a yummy tasting nut? If you don't know who I am, what's going on, everybody? My name is Gavin Carlson, former credential journalist in the LA area. Spent not one, not two, not three, but 4 years covering UCLA sports, specifically with the Daily Bruin, writing articles, conducting interviews, all that good stuff. Crack into a good source of protein with how about a yummy tasting nut? I love the nut. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Had me fired up.
Whew. It always wakes me up at the end. I'm always glad it's over. Let's see. Also, let's get back to the comments here. Sorry about that, guys. I had to bore you with that. Gerard says, when they only got one with the bases loaded, no outs, I felt like we were fucked. I did too. Honestly, I did too. Kikuchi was robbed. Umpires made a mistake. He let the game tie, a costly break. He left the game tied. Ward couldn't hit. The pressure grew, and Washington's lineup still messed up anew. Demetros, you get an A for effort on those. I swear to God. Also, you got here, not useless trucker. Demetros says, it doesn't matter if we win by an inch or a mile. Winning is winning. That is true. I mean, you got to take the good with the bad. I just like to freaking, be a little critical.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what? Wow, winning.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Also checks in as well as I'm currently, I already got that right there. HITI out here doing the Lord's work. I appreciate that so much. Also, I love how we managed 4 runs and not a single home run and only 6 strikeouts. Ward and Soler both sucked, though a fun fact, they both have the same 213 average. I didn't even notice that they didn't strike out more than 10. LV says, we're so back. And think about 6 strikeouts, and Ward and Soler had half of them. Let's see. Demetrio says, just another Halo victory. Trout is back. Run me them 4 honks. Well, let's get those 4 honks out to you, LV. LV always asks for his honk to be honked. There you go. 4 full honks. Rally Chris says, remember, Todd, our record when scoring 4+ now is 25-8. That is beautiful. LB says, can't wait for the Shonawell bobblehead giveaway. That's going to be a cool one. I think he's going to be like making a diving catch on that one. Useless Trucker says, the Angels are adjusting, but Ward stayed the same. Teams on the road needs runs. It's always the game. Trout led them strongly despite the team's fuss. His shining effort, in him we trust. Demetrio says, if we can score 4 runs every game, we're going to the World Series. Rally Chris says, hey, this weekend is City Connected versus Seattle. Hey, Darnell doesn't need Wills as long as he starts hitting more. That's all that matters. That's true, Don. That's true. I'm a little hard on my boy right there. That's what she said. LV says, Detmers looked good out there as a closer. He did have that 97 to 98 mile per hour fastball by him is definitely a breath of fresh air. Can he do that 5 or 6 innings? I don't think so. I think we're seeing the best out of Detmers right now as far as stuff is concerned. My hope for him is that in the future, we can continue to give him the kind of support he needs to then get back into the rotation and show that dog attitude and actually use it once he gets back into the rotation. Because I would love to see him succeed as a starter. I really miss him starting, but he's a long way from getting there, I think. Joshua says, man, Renifo needs to get his bat going. He sure does. Useless trucker with yet another one says, the Taylor Ward's the champ of the Nacho Night Award, rolling on the ground ball, swings all out of accord. He's ruined the defense. What a funny wild board. Joshua says, Dumbo needs to get traded. Nick Tate says, every other game Ward seems to go missing. Terrible. Also, LV says at this point, just the Halos play all their games on the road. Dan says, are you going to the Angels game in Sacramento? I'm trying to go in August, to be honest with you. I can't go any earlier than that. I think they play in August or September over there. But, yeah, I want to go up there and see them in Sacktown. Courtney says, wow, the lineup is looking really great the last 2 days. Let's change it all. LV says, I told everybody Halos would take the series. I hope they took it to the bank and deposited. Yeah, you've been depositing a lot of checks. more than our boy Ron Washington. Useless Trucker says Todd Fox can't stand Ward's foolish plays. He's got no defense, still lost in the days. Demetrio says, I want us to bring back Anaheim road jerseys. That was pretty cool. Put Trout back at 6. I like him at 5. Chris Taylor did something good. Q Lombardi.
What the hell's going on out here?
Also DFA Ward. I love that. Pass. Let's see. Let's see. Pasito says Soler is useless in his at-bats and can't stand the uppercut swings. I agree with you. He's really got to start flattening out that barrel head. Chris says Ward has been playing shitty ever since his cocky ass interview he gave that Friday night win against the Marlins. I agree. So you get out of it what you put into it, Grillmaster says, because Roger Lodge once told him some very, very, very sexual things that I guess Grillmaster really enjoyed, or at least took to heart in his relationship. Let's see, where is it? There it is.
Let me tell you something about my guy, John Stamos. So I was able to go in the back bedroom and unscrew the old balls and running up my butt right now. You get out of it what you put into it. John Stamos choked on me. He was so great.
He was. Balls, and Reid Detmers, because, again, James was honking his honk, dude. He messaged me right away and was like, hell yeah, baby. I love it.
For you to check out what I want. I want balls and
John Stamos.
Reid Detmers. Demetrio says that Jaron Duran guy is pretty cool. He is, but not against my Halos. Oakland is now 3-23 since being one game back in the AL West. Sega Boy says, damn. Ward always does that shit. What a fucking moron. Exactly. D's nuts right there. Where are the 4 Dales? Thank you for reminding me. You get the 4 Dales because we scored 4 runs. Yes, it's the Dale counter.
Dale!
1,
Dale!
2,
Dale!
3,
Dale!
4. Over on TikTok, Stezio says, how does Jansen do it? Dude is a freaking stud, man, and he is a freaking Hall of Famer for a reason. Never will be a Hall of Famer as an Angel, obviously, but as a Dodger, he deserves to get in there, man. Guy is nails. Also change the lineup, Grillmaster says, Neto, Shonawil, Moncada, Ohapi, Trout, Adell, Soler, Renifo. Problem with that is Moncada's on the IL. Dan Rio says Gavin informed an entire 23 minutes or formulated 23 minutes of content and didn't play Stukas. What a loser. Stezio says, I honestly expected Jansen to be rockier this season, but he's such a stud. Neto will be a household name soon. That is, again, really good comments right there because he's going to show up really quick. I think once the rest of the league starts seeing him more, and especially at the All-Star break, I think for sure he's going to be on people's minds. Jesus says, light that baby up. Todd Fox, we beat the cheat Sox. Also, Rally Chris says, so how was Papa Fox feeling after this game? He was happy. He was very surprised they won the game because, again, winning 2 games against Boston in Boston is something that this team is not used to doing. Randy Yaz says, World Series bound, baby. I told you not to lose hope. Grillmaster says, what? I never had sex in my last relationship. What are you talking about, Todd Q Lombardi? I didn't need to know that, but okay.
What the hell's going on out here?
Oh, so the Red Sox, oh, God, that is the oldest joke. Luke says, Deo. He loves the freaking Deo. And again, we're going to hear that as soon as they come home. A lot of that. Also, Connor and the Red Sox got the Wong outcome tonight. Jesus Christ. That's technically 5 Deos. There's one more in the intro. That is true. Luke says beach weekend is all about to be off the hook. You know what's funny about that, Luke? Christmas in June is just around the corner. Silent E says, I really don't understand why we don't DFA Newman over Anderson why we didn't. Anderson was all around better, both offensively and defensively. I just don't know if Anderson had any experience at third base and Newman can play third. That's probably why he's still here. I honestly think because Newman, I mean, look, Anderson wasn't far and away better offensively, but he could do a little bit more than what Newman's doing. You're absolutely correct. And he wasn't making errors like freaking Newman was. Also, Shonawell's way better when he's playing his game for a contact and good eye at the plate. Yes, Stezio. Yes, I've been very impressed by his at bats. Even if he strikes out or grounds out after a 3-ball 2-strike count, I like the fact that he's working the counts and he can work the walks like nobody else on this team. B Train says, "Is it me or is it just nice being Boston's ass?" Woohoo! Hell yeah. Also, Sega Boy says Mankata is the new number 6 at his home. I wouldn't go that far. Also, balls, and Christmas in June. That is still the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Time for you to check out what I want. I want balls and John Stamos.
Christmas in June. Matt, why don't you like Shonawell batting second? I'd love to hear your comment on that one. I kind of like him there. I don't like him leading off. He's just not fast. Also, Sega Boy says, Papa Fox, stop having sex, too much sex. I just found out the other day. Well, no, I'm not going to repeat. I'm not going to throw my dad on the bus, but yeah. we'll save that for another day. Play the Golden Dong song just for kicks. I don't have it no more. It got erased. That is one of the best songs. Maybe Randy can bring it back somehow, but that is one of the best songs of all time. Also, notes, we signed Anderson to a minor league deal. Newman was on a 1-year deal. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I missed that banger too. B Train says, I'm loving Adell getting going on fire. We got to keep that guy or he's going to hit 40 home runs somewhere else. And that's probably what's going to happen. But the thing is, he needs to be another one of these hitters that relaxes a little bit. You saw him steal a base tonight, but he's been battling that injury off and on all season, the thigh injury. So sometimes he's hobbling around the bases. He's not as fast as he should be. And I think that's hurting him because otherwise, he's been swing and miss, literally hit and miss. He's not getting the singles and doubles, but the times he can, he's just so dynamic, dude. And I would love for him to be a staple out there because defensively, he's really gotten better. He still makes mistakes, but nobody's perfect. He's not as bad as he was a couple years ago. Matt says Phil being lefty 4th or 5th pulls side hits with runners. So he's wanting him to be more down in the lineup, I guess, when I'm getting right there. So for being a lefty, 4th or 5th is better, he says. Stezo says, hope Moore can make the team at least by mid-season. Anderson and Ward will bring good prospects and young talent. I agree right there because Dodgers, I could see trading for Anderson back. What about the Orioles? It just depends. Orioles might just throw in the towel here soon. Randy says, fuck Boston. I agree. Sega says a dude grill master in a thong and a yarmulke. Jesus. Also, Randy, if the Angels are over 500 by my birthday week, July 20th, I'll want another Rally Chris song. Okay. Also, B Train says Anderson and Newman are shitbirds and should have a youngster up in the role right there. Also, let's see. Nick House says they need to drop Soler to 6. He's been ass. He has been pretty bad. Andrea says, sorry if you've already mentioned it, but what are your thoughts on the season ticket holder, a big A pass they supposedly offering since Halo suck on Twitter, speaking out about how it's bullshit? Well, I'll just say this, and I already brought it up earlier, but I'll just touch on it again. This is my first real year of getting season tickets. Now I regret it, but then again, I don't. The experience being there is great. I still love the team, even though Artie's an asshole. My thing is I never buy stuff there, merchandise, food, or nothing. I always get it outside the stadium. Go to Brewheim. By the way, go to Brewheim. It's a good place. 10% off beers and stuff like that. Great place to hang out. We do our watch parties and stuff there. But yeah, I mean, for me, I go through 714 tickets. I don't even buy at the stadium if I needed them, if I need extra tickets for the kids or whatnot. But anyway, the fact of the matter is he's going $49 for the rest of the season. It's not about the tickets being sold. You can definitely tell he just wants butts in the seats like the Savannah Bananas did. The more the place gets sold out, the more money he makes. Not on ticket sales. He makes money on parking, concessions. Because think about it. A tall can of beer of Modelo, which is $18, I believe, $2 anywhere else. So you're paying $2 or cheaper on bulk on beer. So maybe $1.50 per can. that he's buying the beer. We're just talking about beer. So most people go and they'll get at least 4 tall cans, right? 3 to 4 tall cans, whether it's 2 people, whether it's one person just drinking a lot, right? So how much, you do the math, 36 times 2, you're looking at $74, I'm sorry, $72. So $72 for 4 cans, dude, when those cans maybe go retail to you for $6. So you do the math just on one person drinking heavily right there. That's how much money you're making. That's not, Big A burger combo, which probably cost you no more than $4. You're charging $25 with a drink. Helmet nachos, you're paying for the helmet, the food itself that comes into that. It's maybe $1 to $1.50 worth when it's all said and done, all the mixtures all together with the helmet. So the helmet you're getting at bulk again. You're making it, you're buying a lot. So the helmets per, I guess, however many thousands that they buy or whatever, you're talking about maybe a helmet would cost you $2. And then the freaking nachos cost less than that you're putting into that specific helmet, but you're paying $25. So the profits you see, and there's so many people walking around the stadium with big ass soda souvenir cups that are $10, that the soda itself that's in it's maybe 30 cents worth because it's water and syrup. It's not even the real soda that you would buy in a 2-liter or a freaking in a can. So again, you're seeing how he's able to make so much money. And there's nothing that you're having to pay for because you don't own the land. You're not paying a lease for that parking other than $1 a year to the city of Anaheim. So everybody that comes into your parking spot, no matter what the event is, game time or not, you're recouping $20 or more on parking for every spot. You're getting almost every dollar of that. So again, you're making money hand over fist on just that stuff. Not even the tickets don't matter, dude. I'm telling you, they don't. They don't matter whatsoever. I think the only time the tickets actually matter is when people buy suites. Other than that, dude, every seat in that house really doesn't cost you anything, or you don't make any money off of it. You're making money off of everything else. So there you go. Randy says a golden dong is long gone, folks. Sorry. Yep. Courtney says we need a package deal. Ward and Adell. I still refuse to be a Jo Adell fan. That's fine. You join Steve Elise with that one right there. Facts, Courtney. B-Train says he's improved big time on defense, but he's only 25, and we would dummies not to keep him. Well, I think he's on the last year of his deal. How dare you want to get rid of a Hall of Famer like Adell? Also, you'll be seeing lots of hair there. Oh, geez. Why do I read his comments? Do you think the Angels will call up more players from AAA? Yes, but at that point, they are in a bad, tough spot if they're having to pull up AAA guys, because I think right now you're seeing, pretty good mixture of guys on this roster. I think you let the AAA guys marinate. Damn it, the Dodgers won. David just gave me that update. Sonny says Shawna has an average of 270 right now, but as far as swinging at pitches outside the zone, he's the most disciplined on the team, and he doesn't swing outside of the strike zone. Hey, Sue says, Todd Fox, when do you think the Angels will call up Christian Moore and Kyron Paris? Kyron Paris needs to get better on offense. Obviously, he needs to freaking start being more patient. He was swinging outside his feet. So it might be a little bit more time for him. Christian Moore, I don't see coming up till August or September. Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off. That's great. Screw those guys. Courtney says, I refuse. Don says, good news is Moncada shouldn't be out for that long. It's true. Stevenson return is more unclear, though. His time keeps going up over time. Randy says attendance is actually up. Did Rob show you the graphic, Todd? What the fuck is bringing people to this goddamn stadium? Kathy's fucking cookies. They probably are, dude. And don't forget this. Fans can't get enough of it. They just can't. Also, you have Mike Trout says we're so back. When's Bachman coming back? Al Jaziri did not get any action. Also, no pinches mama's way. We won 2 in a row. Mr. Martinez over there on TikTok says Neto equals GOAT. Gabriel says we need to beat the Mariners, and our bullpen is ass outside of Jansen 100%. It's actually been really good. The bullpen got an ERA of under 2. in the last like 16 or 17 games. So it's actually been better than advertised. On paper, it's ass, and we still have some guys that we need to join the club soon. But yeah, it should be illegal to reap those profits, but it's true. That's what's happening. Angels are 2-0 in extra innings. Courtney says Artie was being rude to the Savannah Bananas owner, Jesse. Security was forcing fans out into the parking lot, and Jesse was refusing to leave until every fan was met. Great dude. Screw Artie. That guy is amazing how he loves the fans. That league is going to take off, by the way. Mike Trout says Paul Skeens will get dealt like Luka Doncic. Don't matter how much control they have. The owner doesn't like us. He does, or they have an owner like us. He doesn't give a crap about it. Nick House says, been very impressed with Brogdon and Detmers recently. I'm curious if the Angels will use Brogdon in a setup role more than Zephyr John. I think Zephyr John can handle it for right now. I'd like to see Brogdon in the 7th and see what he can do there. Grillmaster say, what was Artie saying to the owner of the Bananas? Also, Randy says, I'll give Perry his due. He cooked on the Neto and Shanawell picks. He did. Randy says, I sent you a graphic, Todd. Angels are 9th in attendance. What the fuck? I must have missed that one, dude. That is crazy. That is so crazy, Randy. What is the league the Savannah Bananas playing? It's going to be a league that's going to take off next year. Next year, they are announcing 2 more teams. Actually, at the end of this baseball season, and they're going to start a league up, which could be trouble for the MLB if they hit a strike in 2026. So we're caught up on comments right now. Real quick, I have to play you this. What is Max Market Pros? Well, Max Market Pros is something that if you have a struggling social media, a struggling Etsy account, a struggling anything, and you're trying to get it off the, podcast even, you're trying to get it off the floor, Max Market Pros, if you go to their website, they can help you build a website. They can help you reach, because they are Google certified to get you to the top of the list. They can help your small business. If you own a small business, whether it's a car wash, whether it's a freaking lawnmower company, whether it's a plumbing company, and you're not getting those calls that you should be getting, well, guess what? If you're a plumber and you work with them, you type in plumbing, your name might go to the top, and you can get more clients that way, get more reviews that way, ups your business big time. They help you get through the whole process because they love helping local companies. Also, companies from out of state. They're a good firm that's been working around for the last few years. They're helping ones to help small businesses get off the ground and people that have businesses through their social media. So with that being said, check out Max Market Pros. And one other thing to check out is the deal on tickets. I know the Angels did the Big A plan with the $49 and whatnot, but if you need ticket prices to go to other concerts that aren't just giving tickets away, or other teams out of state, in state that you want to see, maybe you want to see the Padres, well, you can get a 10% discount. You can pay no fees, no taxes. So if it says, hey, you want to sit at Petco for $36, you're going to pay $36. Tired of paying service fees and taxes for tickets and concerts? Well, guess what? There's an alternative, and that is 714 Tickets. Yes, 714 Tickets is the price you see, is the price you get. Ron Holt has set up this website for you and for us as Halos in the Infield fans. And by putting in HITI in the promo code, you get 10% off of your purchase every time. Not just one time when you sign up. No, every time. And not just for the Angels, not just for the Dodgers, for basketball, football, hockey, and concerts. Use the 10% off HITI code as much as you want. Isn't that great? Plus, you get 5% more of savings off of your purchases for future purchase of tickets going forward. 714 Tickets is awesome because, again, the price you see is the price you get, and you don't pay all these crazy service fees and taxes. If it's $28, well, guess what? It's $28 plus the 10% off you get by using Halos in the Infield, HITI, at checkout. So what are you waiting for? 714 Tickets, 714 Tickets. Tell them Halos in the Infield sent you. Useless Trucker says Todd's mad about Helmet Nachos screaming. That's not fair. Moreno's got all the cash. Stop parking. Let the team beware. Let's see. The left says, should the Angels pick up Trevor Bauer? Nah, that dude is blackballed. He is not getting back into the league. David says, go Angels. Also, Shanawell Silene says, ranks 480 out of 546 qualified batters for outside zone swing percentage. He is one of the most disciplined hitters in the whole league. Devan says Kelly Jansen going back to the Dodgers today. Breaking news. Yeah, we'll see about that. Also, Janice says, what a game. We love your show. I really appreciate that, Janice. Also, like that baby up says, the season starts tonight. Cue Roger Lodge. Yeah, we haven't heard too much of him saying this.
We got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Sonny says, I don't want to bore with numbers. I'm just I'm just not a fan of the show of how teams push first base to be power hitters when hitters for average is just as effective as it can be for valuable at times. And that's the thing too. I mean, again, this team values power hitting first baseman, but again, a contact dude to set the table for other power hitters. Look how many times he scores runs. Is much to me more valuable. Janice says, or on the Useless Trucker says, Janice loves the show. She's cheering with glee, and the game's so great. It's the best you'll see. Rally Chris says 2026, the Savannah Bananas will launch a Banana Bowl Championship League. What's up, Daniel Barry? Also, I can polish that 714 ad up for you if you like. I would love that because mine is very janky. Also, Matt says the league is called Banana Ball. Also, Courtney says, yes, it's Banana Ball. Right now, it's made up of Savannah Bananas, Party Animals, the Firefighters, and Texas Tailgaters. Yeah, they're going to do 2 or 3 more teams from what I see, Courtney. Savannah Banana WWE Ball, I'm good. No thanks. Also, bring back the Angels small ball. Yes, I would love that for sure. Devani says, Angels, you guys miss Shohei Ohtani. Not really. We don't miss the gambler. He was awesome when he was here. Couldn't have been nicer, but his true intentions were to go north. Randy says, laugh my ass off. No, it's not janky, but it's pixelated on the bigger screen. It's pretty bad, though. Strange says, at this stage, I'd trade Ward for an 18-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon. Damn. Also, Asu says, Angels have a prospect catcher named Marlon Quintero. He's got a cannon of an arm. I wonder what, is he in double A or is he in single A? Also, Herman says, Chris Taylor played great today. What do we think of Matthew Lugo? Jury's still out, my man. Lugo 949. I like him. I really want him to be better, but he kind of had a Kyron Parrish start with us, and we're waiting to see if he can, get hitting again, because both of them just hit a brick wall. And again, game of adjustments. Now the pitcher's seen you. Now you got to adjust to them. Devaney says Chris Taylor wants to go back to the Dodgers. They can have him. They can really have him. I could care less right now. I didn't like that signing whatsoever. Did not like that signing. Also, Nick House says, do you think we'll get rid of any key players at the trade deadline? I feel like we could trade Mancada for a good package, especially if he's a good free agent after this year. If he keeps putting up numbers, I think we can get something for him. But I think for the most part, again, this team's got to be out of it. To me, I would trade no matter what to release some guys to try to get better. But then at the same time, you got to think of the future. And these guys aren't in the future. Your Andersons, your Mancadas, your Taylor Wards. I think you need to get rid of them. But if this team's anywhere close to a spot, they're not going to trade. Their ego in this franchise is too big. I don't know why, but it is. Shohei Ohtani saying, hey, Todd, why are you saying that you don't want me back? I can join Jansen, Tyler Anderson, and Chris Taylor. Can we just not? I mean, seriously, Shohei Ohtani. Also, Sega Boy says, rally Chris in nothing but a rally thong and Mickey ears. Take that third base, you prick, or I'll balk you. Yeah, I love the fact. I can't believe Cool Dude says we need to bring up Chris more. Not yet, dude. It is too early. How come you didn't like the signing of CT3? I feel it's good considering he's good in defense. Because Herman, I need offense. I need offense. I don't need home run hitting guys or guys who are small in stature who think they're home run hitters. And I need more contact dudes. I really, really need new contact guys. I don't need another strikeout king. And so far, all he's been doing is striking out. He may have made a nice defensive play here and there. That's fine. But I don't. We just need more hitters, man. It's just all I can say is, like right now, I would take guys who are fast, who can set the table for the quote unquote power hitters that we have. So I don't know. Sign Kenny Powers. What happened to Anthony Rendon? He's in Houston, just making $38 million a year for doing absolutely nothing. Herman says, I get that. I feel Renifo has been awful. He can elevate the ball bad defensively lately too. I wish he was more in there contact wise too. Jerry says, who would be ideal player if they would indeed be in it at the end that we would want? I would say like a Mullins for outfield from Baltimore. I like Santander. I know he's not having a great year in Toronto. I wanted him in free agency, but Chris Mullins would be it's not Chris Mullins. Mullins from Baltimore. I know Baltimore is going to be in a seller's mode, and I think he's a guy that has control with his contract. He would be a nice corner outfielder, and he's got speed. He's dynamic. He can hit for average. He can hit doubles. So let's see. Also, everyone's wanting Christian Moore, but again, don't bring him up too early, man. Just don't bring him up too early. CJ Mullins. There you go. Thank you, Cedric. Cedric Mullins would be a great pickup. I agree right there, Courtney. You guys need a good hitter. Get out of here, Shohei. We need more players like Shonwell at the bottom of the lineup. Guys like Newman, Taylor, and Renifo are dragging us down. Yeah, because if a guy like Paris, which I'm a big fan of, was continuing to hit, you can have him at the bottom of the order with like a Cedric Mullins to change over the lineup to a Neto because if Renifo was there and he was hitting, that'd be great for him to turn the lineup over. But I want that Sean Figgins-esque player, like and that was batting ninth at one point, that before he worked his way up to lead off and number two, when he would bat number 9, dude. I mean, he would set the table for the good hitters, or even like an Eric Ibar when he first started too. So let's see. Came across this. Just wanted to say go Dodgers. Thank you. Ryan says, absolutely right there. Wants to be an Angel fan right there. Yeah, he probably does. Mickey Moniak going to the Dodgers. Good luck with that. That dude sucks. Let's see. Grillmaster says, you're not a good hitter when it matters. You swing for the fences too much. Don't do that contact. Always swings at the pitches outside the feet. I don't know who you're talking about right there. Ohtani, maybe Ohtani. Ohtani made his announcement looks so big that he has that he was going to the Dodgers like it was some kind of surprise. We all knew where he was going and where he was going to pony up, or who was going to pony up for him. Yeah, exactly. Quintero's on ACL, so that's cool right there. ACL Angels. Let's see. Also heard Marshall wants you grill. David Fletcher can slap the ball. Give me some Johnny Giovitella. Those are nice players for their time right there. Newman is equals Squid is an automatic out as long as he doesn't pump one after hitting a home run like King Griffey Jr. I'm good with that as well. Going to the game on Saturday with my Mariners friend Jep says, well, hopefully I'll see you there. I'll be in 260. We'll be there for the Angels Mariners game as well. Yeah, he'd fit in. He's a 232 hitter right now. Absolutely. Let's see one other thing. And Randy found that freaking slide. That's awesome. We need to get that one on here as quickly as possible because that's given a lot of emotional damage since we don't have it on here.
Emotional damage.
By the way, Cedric Mullins could be a better hitter though. I believe here. I mean, Baltimore's just been an ass fire. They've been terrible. Despacito. I found the song along with the slide. Hell yeah. It is a banger, dude. That ding dong. I mean, everyone was loving that ding dong. That's what she said. By the way, pass once. Plenty of that when we get down here. And yes, we don't miss you, Squid. Squid was an asshole on and off the field. I couldn't stand that guy. Okay, so thank you for everyone being on. Quick note for tomorrow. If you want to get a hold of me, again, at any time for tickets or just any kind of specials that we have going on, we are going to have those shirts. I know we've been not talking about it because in the end of the month passed, but my distributor is a week late, but we have some other designs coming in from Randy, which we're going to start printing out too at the end of this week coming up. I will have the Halos in the Infield shirts in my possession this weekend, finally to distribute and also to sell. You might want to pick up a shirt because they're going to go really fast. And I'll have some news on some hats, and I'll be able to show all that off here once they come in. You could see, instead of my jerseys right there, we'll have the new shirts, the new logos, the new everything. It's going to look fantastic. And yeah, everything that goes into the show goes out to charity and goes out to other things. We've got some things in the works that we're excited to talk about moving forward too. Plus, we have some dates to talk about on a softball game, which is probably going to be in the latter half of July or August. The Battle of the Podcast. We're going to have some awesome people participating in that. You too can join and have a good time with us out there. And we'll give you all the details on that once we get the field nailed down. And then as far as tomorrow's game, I will be on a little bit late. Obviously, I work for a living. I don't live in my mom's basement, so I can't call the game right after it ends. Those early games are always always tough to do. Funniest comment of the night: need a Locked On Angels collab with you. I'm sorry, sir, but if you're holding your breath on that one, you won't be alive very long. Let's see. Have you ever thought about collabing with Halo tees? No, I haven't. I've talked to the guy. I know the guy, but no. I think he has his own brand going on, and kudos to him. I mean, he makes good shit. So I mean, that's his deal. I'm not gonna mess with his stuff, man. But yeah. Tomorrow I'll be on probably around, I want to say 5 or 5:30. So if you guys want to talk Angels, and hopefully it's after a sweep, I will be here live and as usual, just being here. John says Halo diehards checking in. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. We'll be on here tomorrow, and I hope everyone brings the passion, because when I announce that softball thing, the teams will fill up fast. Like literally we're only going to have captains from the podcasts. So you're going to get a shirt and probably something else we're going to, throw out there as far as keepsakes for you for just participating. And we're most likely, like we did last year and the year before, serve food there too. So everything's going to be taken care of. You're going to have a good time, family friendly. It's going to be hell yeah fun. So if you like to play some softball and you're pretty good at it, we're going to have a lot of people out there late in the summertime when the dog days of summer get out there. We're gonna have a good time. It's probably going to be a night game too, or an evening game, so you don't have to worry about playing in the freaking 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're not going to do that. We're going to have the lights on. It's going to be pretty fun. So a couple more comments before I get out of here. Cedric Mullins and also Byron Bruxton would be dope, but again, I don't think you're going to get a twin out of that because the Twins are still in the mix. So you're not going to get that one right there. Let's get one last Deo right there. Boy, he loves himself some Deo. There you go. What do you think about this year's draft, the Angels? It's hard to say, Jesus. I would like a frontline starting pitcher or a can't miss catcher or can't miss infielder. But other than that, man, I swear to God, dude, this year's draft is so important for the future of this organization, drafting so high in every round. Sega Boy says, Todd, I still remember you when you did the shirtless show in 2023 versus the Rangers. Why would you want to remember that? I don't know. Courtney says, I'm clear to play. Hell yeah. I'm going to throw up her highlight from a couple years back. Courtney, damn, dude. You want to talk about a hell of a swing. She has a very pretty swing, and she can hit. She can play defense, and she's got a rocket arm. So I'm glad she's cleared to play with that knee injury being, in her back rear view mirror. It's gone. I'm definitely going to cheat right now, and I'm going to say I've claimed her on the Halos in the Infield team. She's going to make the team. There's no way I'm letting her go to any other team. That's just not fair for her to go to any other team. She's got to be on our squad because, dude, she puts a lot of us to shame. That man, she could hit. It's awesome. So, and that's what you get from a former college ball player like yourself. I mean, that chick, boy, sorry I called you a chick, Courtney. It's just you're one of the guys, but you're still awesome at baseball. I swear to God, so awesome. balls, and softballs. Also, Sega Boy says I'd strike Courtney out with a 78-mile-per-hour splinker. I don't know about that. I don't know. I've seen her take batting practice too. So, Grillmaster says fly ball to right. Let's take a drive with Honda. Strange says asking for a friend. Why is Gavin's credentials were printed on a pizza box? Those commercials are so cheesy. Renifo gotta go. Bring KP back up. J Dog says, "Hey, that's my line." That's so cheesy. I forget what he says on that car commercial, but he's like, "Hey, that's my line." Oh, Gooby. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Now word from Jack the Box. It's getting that way. Courtney says, I hit harder than men. No torpedo bat needed. That is for sure. Because if you want to look up the game, by the way, real quick, I always say real quick, I never know how to get out of here, but the because you guys make the show so much fun. I guess it's from 2 years ago or 3 years ago, I want to say now, when we had our first softball game, it was done up really good. And the whole thing is on video, the first game that we played. And you could see Courtney's at bats. You could see my at bats. You could see all of us up there hitting for halos in the infield versus, I think it was rocks in the outfield at the time. Good game. It came down to the wire, but you'll see Courtney, I think she was batting second or third or even leadoff, but she was crushing the ball. And so, yeah, you'll see how good she can hit if you go back on our YouTube page. It's one of the earlier videos. Let's see. Also, EQ says, "Hey, Todd, I can pitch a knuckleball at the softball level." Well, then come down, my man, because I know EQ will be there for sure. Run fast and turn left unless you're going to the Halos in the Infield podcast. There you go. The OG's reference, OG's Pizza. All right, with that being said, everybody, we will see you tomorrow around 5:30, maybe 6 the latest, but I would shoot between 5 and 5:30. I'll put a little what do you call it? Little thing up there when I'm ready to start so we can all get on and then be here tomorrow and hopefully talk about a sweep and getting a little happy, because nothing more that I'd like to see the Angels do is sweep tomorrow and then have a day off on the flight back here to Anaheim and hopefully keep that momentum going. Seems like whenever they run into a freaking day off, they lose the day before. So hoping things are different tomorrow. So we need a really, really good start tomorrow from our boy, and then hopefully everything works out with Soriano and the Angels can get the dub. So for Todd Fox and everybody on the show, have a good night. The Angels win, baby. I'll play you off with some Stukas. And we'll see you tomorrow, because
we got a lot of baseball left to be played, and the season starts tonight.
Damn right, baby. Stukas all around.